Hello everybody, hello from a rainy day in London again. We're in the middle of the Covent Garden. It's raining but it's still so beautiful. So Covent Garden, once a working market and the backdrop for the musical My Fair Lady, today is London's biggest attraction magnets for tourists. It attracts 44 million people annually, and today we're going to talk about 10 facts about Covent Garden. Covent Garden is essentially coming from French word couvent, which is meaning convent. Convent means like a religious building such as a nunnery or monastery. By the 13th century, most of the landmark of the Covent Garden belonged to Westminster Abbey, which included a walled vegetable garden tended by the monks. Henry VIII seized the lands of Covent Garden and gave them to a friend. So in the 16th century, a lot of new landmarks, including formerly belonged to Westminster Abbey, was given to Henry VIII. Then Henry VIII gave Covent Garden to his friend John Russell, which is the first Earl of Bedford. Then 100 years later, 4th Earl of Bedford, Francis Russell, had an idea to build up a place in the middle of Covent Garden, and the Covent Garden we know today had a start. Two of the place's streets, which is Russell Street and Bedford Street, are coming from those memories. Covent Garden was designed by a royal architect called Inigo Jones. Inigo Jones is the first significant architect of the modern era. Earl of Bedford asked Inigo Jones to make a square that is built for gentlemen with ability. Earl of Bedford also asked Inigo to build a church, St. Paul's. And to keep the cost down, Earl of Bedford requested nothing more extravagant than a barn. And Jones replied, "You shall have the finest barn in London." Covent Garden was the first piazza in London. Of course, like it seems like, it's very much influenced by the squares of Europe, and Inigo Jones designed this place, especially influencing from Livorno, Tuscany, the Great Piazza. Covent Garden has run a market since 1656. The early traders served mostly to the wealthy tenants, of course. After the Great London Fire in 1666, London's scores have left the city and descended on Covent Garden. Granted a royal charge in 1670, the Earl of Bedford sought to find the ways to spread the market. And in 1830, John Russell, the 6th Earl of Bedford, hired an architect called Charles Flower and wanted him to build a neoclassical building in the middle of Covent Garden for the market. And it is the one that we see today. Covent Garden was an 18th century red light district. Published from 1757 to 1795, Paris's list of ladies was actually an annual directory of prostitutes that were working in and around Covent Garden. Both the Royal Opera House and the Theatre Royal Drury Lane are said to be haunted. During the construction work in 1999, the workers would have things flying around them and to them actually throughout the day. Bricks and metal things, and it was impossible for someone to throw them because the security was quite strong. Paranormal expert Tom Ogden calls the Theatre Royal as one of the world's most haunted theatres. Covent Garden has over 60 pubs and bars, so there is no liquid shortage of anywhere in Covent Garden. And some of the pubs and bars that will transport you back in time because they're so old. For example, the Freemasons' Arms. Charles Darwin, back in time, he attended for the Philipperistan Society's annual meeting here for pigeon fanciers, and he became a member of that later that year. Covent Garden street performers run shows every day except for Christmas Day. Street performers have been a long-known thing in Covent Garden, and you can find various artists performing their amazing art around here, from entertaining you, from dancers, from singers, from painters, anything you can think of as a performance. Licensed for street entertainment, performers actually audition around venues around here, and then if they get chosen, they're able to perform here. And Covent Garden, to look at its history, was actually a bustling center of an Anglo-Saxon trading town. Established around a mile to the West Londinium, actually the place, the Anglo-Saxon trading town, was an old Roman settlement known as the City of London or the Square Mile. It was a 7th century Anglo-Saxon trading town called Lundenwic, which was built around the Covent Garden that we know today. We're gonna enjoy the day walking around Covent Garden, and if you ever visit London, you're gonna know and hear about it as soon as you put your foot in London. I'll see you in the next video of Londonist. Take care. Hope you like our facts.